Welcome everyone, and thank you so much for joining in. So before I talk about this here in a weekly time frame, let me show you this one scenario that we talked on my yesterday video, because when the price of Bitcoin dropped around this 45,000 range, many were panicking. But if you have watched my video from yesterday, we were actually expecting the price of Bitcoin to see a reversal around this 44,000 range before choosing a trend duration, because according to this descending broadening wedge in the past Bitcoin price action, failing to break out of this upper line resistance led to a new price retracement here to the downside. And since the price of Bitcoin was forming this similar scenario, we said, hey, now if this is going to happen, then the lower line area is where we could be possibly getting gravitated. And this lower line area of this descending broadening wedge was lying around 43,000 to 44,000 range. And also, not just only because of this descending broadening wedge, if you add the CPI indicator, which is a leading indicator, guys, according to the CPI indicator as well, you can see the lower support line, the monthly S2 line, is also lying around 44,000 range. So that's why we said if this trend is going to show any sort of a weakness, then the lower line area around this 44,000 is where we could be getting gravitated before price chooses an actual trend duration. So right now, since the price is around this 47,000 range, are we going to hold this price level? Because if we are going to lose this support line, right, and also in a weekly close below this range, then this is going to be a big danger for Bitcoin. Why? Let me show you here. Now, if we look at this price action of Bitcoin here in a weekly time frame, we are breaking the support from this very important line that was holding the price since March 2020, because with each and every retracement, you can see this rising trend line acted as a strong line of support, and at the same time this 50 weekly moving average along with this falling trend line was one important line of support that was supposed to hold the price. And now, as you can see, the price of Bitcoin is clearly below this support line, and if the weekly is also going to close below this important line of support, then this is going to trigger another sign of danger for Bitcoin. So that is the reason why we want the price of Bitcoin at any cost to stay above this 48,000 range here, weekly time frame. And also, if you look on the right hand side, this Bitcoin logarithmic growth curve losing the support from this green line, which is the 38.20 Fibonacci line, has also indicated a clear sign of weakness where we got gravitated towards this orange line, and this orange line is the 23.61%. If you go back, what you can see, failing to break out of this green line, got a rejection that brought the price again towards this 23.61 Fibonacci line. Again here, once we broke the support from this green line, right, you can see we got gravitated towards this orange line. And this similar scenario has unfolded again and again here in the past Bitcoin price action. So that is the reason also why I'm actually showing you this, because if the weekly here on the left hand side is going to close below this 48,000, then that could trigger another scenario here on the right hand side, which could be indicating the price of Bitcoin could be heading towards this 40,000 range one more time before again showing any sort of a trend duration, because losing the support also from this 23 brought the price straight towards this bottom of the channel, and this is not what we want to happen with Bitcoin. And if you also are aware, right now I have seen many people talking about this one scenario, which is Wyckoff price cycle. And if you are not aware of this, no problem, because I am going to show you in today's video. And also, guys, if you are still not subscribed to the channel and if you have still not destroyed that like button, then please do it right now. So now, if you look at this price cycle according to this Wyckoff, before we show any sort of a markup phase or impulsive movement, first we always form this accumulation phase. After this accumulation phase, we see a markup phase, and after markup, distribution phase, and only after distribution we see this actual markdown phase. And if we look in our case, guys, you can see a very similar structure is unfolding. So now if we look in our case here in a daily time frame and monitor the price movement, just like what I showed you, if this was an accumulation phase in our case, you can see once we broke out of this accumulation phase, we started this new move here to the upside, and this new move was the markup phase. And after this markup phase, we should see a distribution phase with the spring involved, and after this distribution phase, we are going to start this new move here to the downside. And in our case, if you look at this price action, you can see, guys, if this here wasn't actually a distribution phase with the spring involved, just like as shown in an example, you can see with spring involved, then this could be the mark markdown phase for Bitcoin, and this markdown phase is playing out very, very well here in price action. So that is the reason why I'm actually including this also, because if we do break the weekly support, right, then this could actually play out as a Wyckoff price cycle, which is showing the price of Bitcoin to see another retracement here to the downward direction. And if the price of Bitcoin does sees any sort of a support, right, or more of a consolidation around this range, we are more than happy to see that, because I showed you with this just a little more speculative chart why seeing more of a range bound around this area should also be absolutely fine. Let me show you that. So according to this Livermore speculative chart, we are aware the price of Bitcoin, before seeing an actual movement here to the upside, first we form this accumulation cylinder, and after this accumulation cylinder phase, you can see after reaching around this 0.7 area, we usually start this new move here to the upper direction. And in our case, if you look at this accumulation cylinder from Jesse Livermore, right, you can see the 0.7 area, the support line, the lower line area of this accumulation cylinder has already failed to hold the price, but it's still not invalid, guys, because to be invalid, the price must break the previous low. So in our case, we are still inside this higher highs, higher lows continuation pattern type of scenario. So if the bulls are going to defend this territory around this 48,000 range, and we are going to see more of a range bound type of scenario here, right, then we are more than happy to see that, because in that case, we could still expect some sort of a relief rally and price again entering inside this accumulation cylinder, just like as shown here in an example from Jesse Livermore. So that is the reason why we want the bulls to defend this 48,000 range at any cost. And also, if you look at this price structure here in a bit different way, right, yesterday I showed you, if you remember properly, guys, this three valley and a river pattern. According to this three valley and a river pattern, as you can see, in a downtrend, price usually forms this more of a lower highs, lower lows continuation pattern. But once the upper line resistance is going to get broken, we could see some sort of a relief rally, at least towards the 62% of A to B, right, before again continue this move here to the downward direction. And in our case, if we look at this scenario, I actually showed you this with a very good example on my yesterday video. So now, if this is going to happen, right, price is going to see any sort of a reversal, then this upper line resistance must be broken at any cost, because if we are going to witness any sort of impulsive movement, at least towards this 62% or 0.618 Fibonacci line, then you can see this 58,000 is where we could be approaching, as shown here in an example from this three valley and a river, before choosing a trend direction. So that is the reason, if the bulls are defending this territory around 48,000 range, then we also want to break this resistance and flip it into support, because if we do that, then this is going to play more as a three valley and a river. In that case, the price could see a retracement at least towards this 58,000 price area. So that's why, guys, right now, as you can see, the price of Bitcoin is forming this very, very interesting structure. But if you also look at this similar, this three valley and a river in an hourly time frame, this is playing out very, very accurately. Let me show you that. So now we are going to switch this into hourly time frame, and in hourly, you can clearly see, guys, the price of Bitcoin here is making this lower highs, lower lows continuation pattern, because we are clearly following this descending channel, as you can see, right? Lower highs, lower lows continuation pattern. So if this is going to be also looked as a three valley and a river, it will make a lot of sense. So now that's why if this retracement is going to continue and also break out of this upper line area, right, in that case could be around this 48,500 range, and flip it into support, then we could be seeing some temporary relief rally playing out. And in that case, this temporary relief rally from this swing high till the swing low area could be again getting retracement around this 0.618 here in a immediate short term, and this 0.618 is lying around 52,000 price area. So now you can see, guys, why I was showing you this around 48,000, 48,500. The bulls must hold this support line, because breaking above this 48,500, right, could also indicate this three valley and a river, which could potentially bring the price again towards this 52,000 range. And also in a weekly time frame, it will still be valid. I mean, the support from the rising trend line, 50 weekly moving average, and also this falling trend line will be valid if the price of Bitcoin somehow manage to find support above this 48,000 range. So let's see how these scenarios are going to play out for Bitcoin. So these are some of the interesting scenarios I thought sharing with you in today's episode. If you enjoyed my work, then please hit the like button, and also if you are here for the first time, guys, then come on, hit that subscribe button and the bell. So by saying this, I'm signing out. My name is Anup. Bye bye, guys.